Welcome back to another episode of the Scoop College Basketball Podcast presented by Hoop Scoop Media. We are back with the SEC preview. This is recorded about a half hour after we finished our HBCU preview. But as you can see, Kyle has changed his clothes. He is in a Missouri Tigers jersey. If you cannot see, if you're listening on a podcast app, just imagine him wearing a Mizzou jersey. Did your dad go there?
So basically, one of my dad's best friends, one of his roommates, was from Missouri. So he saw that he had a Mizzou basketball poster in his room, and my grandpa coached Derek Chivas, who's their all-time leading scorer in high school. So we've always had ties to the program. We went for his jersey retirement. That just happened a couple years ago, actually, which is crazy because all the other numbers were up there, but Kwanzaa and a lot of the other Mike Anderson wasn't good with alumni at all either. So that was a problem for a while. But yeah, no, I've attended a lot of Mizzou games. I went to Michael Porter Jr.'s first game that year. There was so much hype around Mizzou that year. And then I went when Tyler Hero was at Kentucky. I went to the Jersey retirement game. So I've been to a couple of Mizzou games. They're awesome when the crowd is filled. So
Yeah, I've never been to a Mizzou game, but I did find myself outside of the arena the other day. I got a picture in front of the
Norm
statue
Stewart
out in front of
statue.
Norm Stewart.
Got
I
to.
did get a
I
picture out
have
in
one
front
too. I have a picture
of the stadium.
with him
I couldn't get
actually.
in. All the doors were locked, and we kind of drove around the back, and there were some people going in, like some workers, and I didn't really want to bother them. I wasn't too focused
Of course,
on
of
getting in
course.
trouble to get in, but all the
Hmm.
front doors were unlocked, unfortunately. But yeah, I'll have to make it to a game sometime, probably after I graduate, since it's
Yeah, I get that.
kind of not a good situation where I can really travel many places during the
Yeah,
season.
I bet. Of course.
But yeah, the SEC overall last year was the fourth best conference. This year is predicted as second best, which I could see. Very
I
strong
agree.
conference this year. I think it definitely improved. Some teams made a tournament last year in Alabama, Texas A&M, Kentucky, Tennessee, Missouri, Auburn, Arkansas, Mississippi State, Alabama, Tennessee, and Arkansas were the teams that made a second weekend. No one made it past the Sweet 16. The all-conference members from last year, Brandon Miller, he has started his pro career on the first team. Colin Castleton exhausted his eligibility. Oscar Sheboy started his pro career. Tolu Smith back at Mississippi State. Kobe Brown started his pro career. Santiago Vescovi is back at Tennessee. Wade Taylor IV back at Texas A&M. And Liam Robbins from Vanderbilt exhausted his eligibility to the second team because the SEC is when those weird conferences does not five players per team, but on the second team, which is like the second and a half to the third team, Mark Sears, he is back at Alabama. Anthony Black started his pro career as his rookie canceled the fourth. Janai Broom back at Auburn. Wendell Green from Auburn, he started his pro career. KJ Williams exhausts his eligibility. Zakai Ziegler back at Tennessee, and Tyrese Radford returns to Texas A&M. One new coach in the league is Chris Beard. He's taking over Ole Miss job after Kermit Davis got fired. I think from a basketball perspective, we both think this is an outstanding hire, but there are some non-basketball shadows around it, such as the fact he was fired because of a domestic violence accusation. The charges were dropped, so he's legally clear, but it's an interesting move.
Yeah, there's some suspicion around why they were dropped, but I
Yeah.
will say there's been no distractions this offseason. Chris Beard has just been focused on
I
business, which I like to
mean,
see.
if nothing like that ever happens again, then it's perfect.
Yeah,
He's
I really love the culture he's building there. I think you already can see it in the offseason. I'm really excited.
Yeah, he's definitely good at winning right away wherever he goes. So that will be a good thing. Yeah, to all conference teams, who do you have winning player of the year?
You know, our boy Riley Kugel. Yes, sir.
I almost went with him. I ended up going with Wade Taylor to fourth. I really like Taylor.
I
He's
see. I
okay.
don't. I'm not a huge Taylor
Why?
fan. I just don't think he has the shot creating skills other guards in this league. He gets the one a lot. He's not insane quick. His efficiency splits to go weren't great. Like I some regression is going to happen, and I think Tyrese Radford's going to be better this year. So I
Ooh,
think
better than Taylor or better than
no better than he was.
okay.
So like I
I think
think
we had this conversation a few weeks ago too, but um
you know I
Taylor's just
our
so good on both
first
sides
team.
of the ball.
He's great on defense. He's great on defense. I can't deny that. Although I do know that Penn State ran him the hell off the court. And that was surprising. Like, I
He did
didn't
go
think
2 for 15
everyone
from the
thought
field.
A&M. Yeah, in quickness and shot creation just did not impress me at all. Like, I just think as far as skills go and like, is he going to be playing in the NBA? Like, no. He just doesn't have like that shot creating ability where he's insanely quick. He hits shots, he can shoot a little bit.
He was
But
really
like,
able to get to the free throw line where he was extremely
yes,
efficient,
yes.
which is that was the thing that really stuck out to me. He was a really good passer last year as well,
And
over
he's
three
on a
percent
team where
assist
he's going
rate.
to get a lot of production. So I mean, he is my first team, but
Yeah, I also had Kugel on my first team. I wanted to go with Kugel for player of the year a little bit, but I ended up playing it more safer. I think Taylor's more of a safer pick, but
he
I
is. He
also
is.
think that Florida just has like so many weapons that like Kugel
They
could get
do.
knocked
That's
down, but
true.
Kugel is going to be really good. Um,
And his draft stock has already just been increasing through the off season, and I think it should throughout the season as well. I think he eventually becomes a lottery pick. I think he's that kind of talent
I could definitely
on
see
both
that.
ends.
Another guy had is Santiago Vescovi for Tennessee. I think he's probably their best player on a team. I think is comfortably the best team in the conference.
I
Um,
agree. I have him on my third team because I don't know how much he's going
yeah,
to score. He's never a huge assertive scorer. He's a great passer. He's going to be running the show.
he
I
can
think
really
Neck
shoot
gets a lot of
too.
shots. I think Josiah Jordan James gets a lot of shots. So yeah, I have Tennessee first, but I have one all conference player. Like I don't know. I just think they're deep. It's
Yeah,
weird.
yeah,
Um,
I understand what you're saying. I just kind of threw Vescovi on there because
I
Tennessee is
get
going to
it.
be so good. It's hard to like leave people off when they're just like so much better
Yeah,
than everyone else.
I agree. I have
Um,
Aaron Estrada on my first team.
okay,
I
I
think
had him on
he's
my
in
third
for a
team.
huge year. Lots. The offense is probably going to be run through him. He's going to get a lot of shots. Um, yeah, I see it being a really good fit for Estrada under a great offensive coach in Nate Oates. So
Absolutely. Another guy I had was Trevon Brazil. I think he is kind of X factor for Arkansas. He is very athletic, pretty skilled for his size, mobile, kind of has all the pieces. If he can just stay
he looked
healthy
really
this
good
year,
today as the game went on. Like the
yeah.
first half, he was a little iffy, but the second half, he was awesome.
I noticed he
Oh,
was kind of
he
like
was
handling
awesome.
the ball a little bit.
He
Not
was. He
really, but like
was.
he was kind of handling the ball in the perimeter. Wasn't really like super dynamic with that, but he was
In
still showed
transition, he is
yeah.
so crazy in transition. Today,
Hmm.
like he had that one dunk. Oh my goodness. I mean, when he's in transition, you just got to be ready to be amazed.
Hmm. Final member of the first team was Janai Broom from Auburn. Very good defensive big, solid on both ends. Was really good at the combine. That all that stuff this summer. Just
So
had to come back.
yeah,
So
my last first team selection is dependent on his health, and it's Tolu Smith. But he does have a foot injury, which they linger for bigs.
yes, I had him second
So
team.
I had Janai Broom second team. I originally had him first, but I'm like, they say Tolu should be back for conference play, which I
I
don't
think
really
Broom's better.
believe.
Like honestly, I think Broom might be better either way.
You know what? I can see the argument. They're both equal defensively. I think Broom's a
They're
little
both
better.
very good players.
Um, but then offensively, I think you could argue Broom has maybe more of a versatile game. I don't know. I don't. It's really close.
Extremely.
I get the argument. I'd have to pull up their stats to decide that one for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely not something I can just pick on top of my head. That's everyone on my first team. Um,
Okay. Second team, I have Walter Clayton Jr. for Florida. I am super high on him. He's a very dynamic offensive player, extremely efficient scored. I think should translate fine. He does some decent size.
he does.
Maybe I mean he was MAC Player of the Year. Can pass the ball a little bit. I think he's a future NBA player. Honestly, like he is that good. He can really score from all three levels.
I
super
can see
efficient.
him cutting out a role in the NBA because of just he's a high IQ player, man.
Mm-hmm.
And high IQ players in the NBA have been doing way better recently. Like if you have good size and good athleticism and you bring that IQ, you will
Mm-hmm.
find a spot in the NBA. Look at Jalen Brunson, not anything crazy athletically. He's decent size, but he's such a smart player. He knows how to get to his spots. Like Clayton's got some aspects of his game for sure. And then yeah, I've Clayton on my second
Yeah,
team. And
that was a phenomenal recruiting job by Golden to get him away from Patino.
that's
Like
insane.
that's
I
that
know he's
was a
from Florida, but
major
that's
win. But yeah,
insane.
like getting a guy that's
Still.
played for one of the best coaches in college
And
basketball
St. John's
history
looks amazing
for the
this year
past two
too.
years.
Like it's not
Like
like St. John's
that's
is
the
some
one thing that St.
slouch.
John's didn't do. Like they did
Right.
everything except like imagine if they would have got him too. But I'm a
We're
big
both
Todd
very high
Golden
on
fan, so
them.
I'm
Yeah.
glad Florida got him. He is super
Those
good.
are two teams we were both very high on. But imagine
Mm-hmm.
if they got Clayton, that would have been something. Um,
Probably would have like they probably wouldn't have gotten Dingle and probably would have like caught
yeah, oh,
sellers.
100%. So second team I have Khalif Battle. I
Okay.
think he's gonna be well, I mean, I don't know who's gonna be Arkansas's number one option. Tremont Mark looked really good today.
I don't trust him
But I
shooting.
don't either.
He takes
I
bad
I
shots.
know he was hitting some crazy shots today. But he did look really good defensively too. Like both ends, he looked good.
Okay.
L. Ellis, of course, is definitely a candidate to be their number one too. He had some moments today, but I think it is going to
Yeah.
be Battle. I think Battle is definitely the guy with the most size out of those three. He's at 6'5". He has experience being the number one option for a long time now. If he can stay healthy, it's been his thing.
Mm-hmm.
He's looked very in rhythm in the scrimmages. I like how Muss is using him in the offenses. So I think he's gonna, get enough numbers to be on the second team. So
Definitely going to be a key player. See how that shapes out. Offensively, very skilled. Um, Another player I had on my second team was Zakai Ziegler. I mean, pending his health, which I think should be back for SEC play at least. Like I've heard he's making good progress, and I think by SEC play should be good to go. Very good defensive player, even considering how small he is. He's elite
he's
on that
awesome.
end.
Mhm.
Has his ups and downs in offensive end, but still a good ball handler, distributor. Can score a little bit.
Yeah,
So
that's the
yeah, I
thing
think
about the SEC. Like we always do our conference teams by numbers per se, but the SEC is not. Was he an all conference player in years
yeah he was.
past?
He was
Yeah, I
last year.
mean,
He's
he
just
just
so good in
doesn't put up
defense.
right. Like you got to put him there out of
Yeah, I
for
kind of look a lot of
defense
times I look more like how good
on
these players actually
numbers.
are and just how much numbers they're putting up.
Yeah, I did for mine, but like Ziegler is probably going to find a way on the all conference team if Tennessee wins the conference, which we both think they are,
Yes.
and things like that. But numbers wise, I shied away from it, and I put DJ Wagner on here.
Okay.
And I'm not big on DJ Wagner really, but I think he's going to get a lot of shots. I think the production's going to be there, and yeah, I have him and Justin Edwards, so
Okay. I have Justin Edwards. I think he's the best freshman on Kentucky.
I agree. Yeah.
I mean, he's like a forward wing, can shoot the ball, really good defensive player as well.
Mhm.
And I mean, the shooting is just going to keep growing. The scoring is going to keep growing. I mean, he'll be best freshman in the conference. I'm not going to say country, but
Mhm.
Collier's pretty good. But Edwards
Love
is,
Jacoby Walter too.
yeah,
I'm a
he's
huge
up there
Jacoby
too. But
Walter fan.
Edwards is definitely up there with the best of them. I think he's Kentucky's best player. So yeah, I think he's going to be very good this year. I also had Jalen Cook, who's I think he's still pending a waiver.
Yeah, something's
Um,
going on with this situation. I meant to ask you. I heard something about
yeah,
it that
I haven't
wasn't
heard.
going well. Yeah.
He should. I think players that transfer back to their original school should just like automatically get waivers.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I thought his waiver wasn't going well. That's what I heard. So
Yeah,
I put him on
but
my third team,
I just
but
kind of put
yeah.
him there because he's very good if he is playing.
And
He's
he's
an
gonna
elite
score
point guard. He's an elite point guard, elite passer, elite scorer. Can really contribute if he's actually playing. But yeah, if he's not, it's going to be a little bit rougher of a season for LSU. And then
for
Toe
sure.
was the last guy I had on my second team.
Okay. Yep, I have Broom. My second team is my last guy to round that off. So
Yeah.
my third team, I have Cook, I have Escovy, and then I have L. Ellis.
Okay. I didn't. I see division. Oh, Arkansas has made some players good that
Look, I
haven't been
mean,
great
yeah, and I
before.
really see like Muss and the pace that he plays at, man. Like, if there's anybody, and I said this in a chat today, if there's anybody better at dictating the pace of play, it's Eric Musselman. That is, I
Ellis had the
think,
ball in his hands a lot today.
yeah, I think that's literally his best attribute as a coach is how he dictates the pace on both ends of the floor. And they did that today. That's why I won. They took Edie out of what he was comfortable doing. But just and they guarded him with Chandler Lawson, like who's a foot smaller than him. But he did an effective job just, bodying him up, letting the defense swarm, and just speed Edie up mentally. And that's what I think Ellis will be really good in is a fast-paced system. I think you're going to get a lot more out of shot creation that way. And I definitely think he's going to put up numbers, maybe not on the best efficiency, but I can see like a 43%. And I think that's good enough. Like, yeah. So I have him.
Okay, I had Tyron Lawrence for Vanderbilt. He was playing very good to end of last year. Not super high on him as a team, but I think he'll still be competitive enough where he's not like doesn't have to put up crazy numbers to be an all-conference guy.
For sure. I
Should
see that
continue
vision.
his contributions there. I also had Matthew Morrell. I'm just choosing him for Ole Miss's guy. I think he's very athletic, very talented. That could be very good under a Chris Beard coach.
I have Jalen Brakefield.
Jamin Brakefield, yeah.
Jamin Brakefield, yeah. Someone I really like. He can stretch the floor. He's really good at putting the ball on the floor. I could even probably call him a 3-level scorer, honestly. I think he can score from all three
Yeah,
levels.
he's not a super high usage guy
Yeah,
at the
he's
moment.
not. That is true. I hope that
But
changes under Beard because he's so much potential.
yes,
I think
he's
part of
NBA potential for sure.
100%. I think part of his low usage was the fact that he had a coach that didn't really know how to run an offense. So I think that was part of it. So Chris Beard definitely knows how to run an offense. So that's an improvement there. Yeah, I definitely hope they run more sets through him because he's their most talented player. And he deserves touches. And my last member, I have Will Baker, someone I've been very high on in the past. I think he fits this offense awesomely. You give Jalen Cook someone to pick and pop with, I think it's going to be really special. And Baker can score from all three levels. He's not just a shooter. He can score in the post. He can score in the mid range. He's a good face up game, good post up game. Baker brings a lot of stuff that I like. And I think Matt McMahon, who's had success as an offensive coach in the past, even though he had a bad roster last year, I think they're going to be a really good offensive team this year. So,
yeah. Rounding out my third team, I had 3 Alabama guys. I have Mark Sears, Aaron Estrada, and Grant Nelson. All players that should be highly impactful at the SEC level. I think Alabama's grown on me recently.
yeah, a lot of people have been saying that. Yeah, they're kind of growing on me too.
Yeah,
They have some breakout guys as well that have
three
caught my
very
attention.
solid players there. Yeah. Moving on to our top 10 transfers. Number 1, I have Clayton. You probably have
Um,
Estrada, I guess.
yeah, I'm gonna go with Strada because he's just been so proven over the years.
Yeah.
Out of respect to him, honestly.
Yeah, I have Estrada at 3 and then Cook at 2.
I have Clayton at 2, Cook at 3.
Okay, and 4, I have Grant Nelson.
4, I'll go Grant Nelson. Fine.
Okay. And 5, I have a Battle.
I have Battle at 5 too.
Okay, 6, I have RJ Shunahara from
Okay.
Georgia D2 Player of the Year.
6, I have Baker.
Okay, 7, Trey Mitchell. I think he could fit in well, especially if with all the bigs on Kentucky hurt and eligible, whatever, whatnot.
7,
I
I have
think
Trey Mitchell.
but I
Yeah.
think he'll be very good as a
You think you're gonna put
5.
Sunhara over Baker? That's crazy.
Baker, I mean, what is Baker? I mean, what is Baker do that Shunahara doesn't?
I mean, I just don't know a ton about Sunhara, but
Yeah, I
like,
mean, Baker's not
here's the
that good on
thing.
defense, though.
That's
Like
true. That is the one
he's a
thing.
little. I'm not gonna say he's soft. He's kind of soft though.
Somewhat. No, I agree with that assessment.
I think he's still good, but like,
Yeah, is Sunhara good on both ends? I just don't know a ton. I
I
know
mean,
he's going to be
he was D2
Georgia's.
Player of the Year.
He's going to be Georgia's number one option. I think so. That is going to play a part in it for
Yeah,
sure.
we'll see how that goes over. But yeah, 7 Trey Mitchell. I think he could really thrive as the 5 man if Kentucky does like some more like
I had him at 8, I think, or 7. No, I
or
had him at
7.
7.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think he's gonna because Kentucky is all centers and eligible. They were looked really good when he was playing the 5, and they could space the floor, spread out more, which is nice. 8-eyed Andrew Taylor though, can get
Yeah.
buckets, not as efficient as you would like, but good passer, good scorer,
He's
provides
gonna
some off,
improve.
provides instant offense. Mississippi State has like none of that, so
Yeah. Yeah, I'll put him at 8. And then at 9, I'm gonna put Austin Nunez.
okay,
Someone I really like. It's a bit
I
high.
think that's too high.
Or
I
you know
mean,
what? Let's put
Nunez
him.
is great, but like there are more
Oh,
proven players.
John
Like
Tonje. John Tonje.
okay,
We'll
I
put
have
him at
Denver
9.
Jones at 9. He can really score the
Oh
ball.
yeah. We'll
He's
put
gonna make
Denver
a
at
big
10.
impact.
Yeah, yeah.
And at 10, I had Dalton Necht.
Okay.
Can really score, shoot the ball. Good size too. Going to Tennessee really provides them with some instant offense. And moving to our breakout players, how many breakout guys did you have?
I'm actually just gonna lift these off the top of my head because I just have so many of them.
Yeah, fire away.
I think Tamar Bates.
Okay.
I'm just so high on the fit. I saw flashes of what Tamar Bates could do. Like every time he played Penn State, like the best of Tamar Bates was shown, and I could really see what he could do, and he could score from all 3 levels. He's a good post fade guy actually for a guard. He's good in the mid range. He can get to the basket. He's quick. I just don't know how Indiana didn't really use him properly.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was definitely what went on because when you run the offense through Trace Jackson Davis and Jalen Hood Schifino, you waste other shot creating guards, and they didn't even shoot many threes, which is so confusing as well. And I think they could have really used Tamar Bates's prowess there. And I think he's going to really improve offensively under one of the best offensive coaches in Dennis Gates. His
Yes.
system is awesome.
Yes. One guy I had was Tobe Awaka for Tennessee. Is really going to make an impact on the boards and down low, rebounding, defensive down there. He was the best player on the U19 team this summer for Team USA. I think he will really make some big contributions for the Vols.
All right, yeah, I have Sam Walters of Alabama.
Freshmen can't be breakout players. How can that
I
doesn't make
mean,
sense?
isn't he like from
He's
D2 or
no, he's a freshman.
okay, he's actually a freshman. All right.
Yes.
Well, it's not a huge deal. We'll just move on to someone else.
He had a really good game in their exhibition now.
Yes, and he's
He
been
can really
really
shoot.
under the radar. So there's that. Um, hmm, let's see. I'm gonna
I have
go.
Rylan Griff from Alabama now.
Well, yeah, okay.
I mean,
That's
he's kind
that's
of
a
a
given.
easy
That's a
breakout
given.
player. Someone's going
Yeah,
to
for
start.
sure.
Showed a lot of flashes of freshman last year. Should fit
I'm
in
gonna go
well
with
into their
I'm gonna go
starting
Van Allen Lubin. Yeah, I'm gonna go Van Allen Lubin of Vanderbilt.
lineup. Okay.
Somebody who I think is gonna get more usage. He's a good defender. And yeah, no, he's just been really highly touted for a while now. And he's gonna
Okay.
get the minutes. So
Yeah, I had a different Vanderbilt guy in Colin Smith. Think he's also going to be a guy that really breaks out. Good shooter. Good.
do
Should
you
be
drink some of
better.
the Redmond juice?
Colin Smith is good.
He
Like
is good though. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm
Colin
kidding.
Smith is good. And then Tyrell Ward from LSU is a guy I have. Has a
Yes.
lot of potential. Wasn't that good last year, but started to come through at the end of the year.
He's their big recruit from a couple years ago,
Yeah,
isn't
from
he?
last year, he was
Yes,
like
I
their big
remember looking
recruit.
at their
Didn't really
roster.
do much, but then like at the end of the year,
I
started to
think
kind of feel
really
himself a
highly
little
of
bit.
him. Yeah. He's
Um,
someone I do have as well. Toby Awaka, who we already went over. Someone I really like. Honestly, I'm gonna go with no, he's isn't Condon a freshman, right?
yes.
Okay.
Last
Yeah.
guy was Nunez. So
Yeah, Nunez is someone I do really like from Arizona State. Played on a really fast-paced offense last year. He is one of the quickest first steps in
he
basketball.
showed some flashes. Like looking at
He
his numbers, you wouldn't see it, but like if
if
you
you
watch
watched him
the
play,
side
like you could
test,
really see his
mm,
quickness off the dribble. Another guy who was just an amazing first step in this conference is Ezra Mannion. Is someone I think who's going to take another big step up in production
okay,
as well. So, yeah, it's, that covers most of it, I think.
all right. So do you have an all freshman team?
Um, yes, actually. I'm gonna go with Pierce from Mizzou. I've been hearing really good things about him. I think he's gonna get some minutes. I don't trust our front court. Um, so I think the minutes are gonna be there.
I will
I,
say I do like him. I do like him a lot, but I think there's too many like star freshmen in this conference that like
that is
he could be
true.
really good. Like one guy I have is Aiden Holloway, who's going to be Auburn's starting point guard.
Yes,
He's going to put
yes,
up some buckets. He's going to be a great college basketball player because he's so small, but it's going to be so
and we got to
impactful.
shoe in all the Kentucky
Um,
freshmen.
yeah, I have three. I have Reed Shepard, DJ Wagner, and Justin Edwards.
Yeah,
Shepard
okay,
is like
that's
when he's
fine.
been playing like in an international tour, their scrimmage the other day, in exhibition. He's been a winning player for them. He's just really contributed. Just really made him better when he's in the floor. He can run the point yard a little bit. Is a good shooter, good scorer overall. That should really be impactful more in the field of fresh, more than like Dillingham. I think Shepard is more impactful winning player right
100%.
away. And
Yeah.
Wagner and Edwards. Wagner can really gets the rim solid on both ends. Not a pure point guard, but is good enough to handle the ball at least. We'll see if he decides to pass it more, which hopefully they do. And Edwards we already talked about.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll go with those three Kentucky freshmen to round out the list. I could take Pierce off. That was just me
I,
thinking of
I also
Mizzou.
had and the last guy was Blue Cane. I love Blue Cane.
We are a Blue Cane
I
fan
love
base
Blue.
here,
Blue
man.
Cane can really score.
I actually visited IMG over the summer and I didn't get to see him play, but heard about I met with the head of basketball ops and he told me about their basketball team and stuff. So that was a cool visit. IMG is like a resort up there. It's
Mm,
unbelievable if you ever do
yep.
get the chance. But yeah, no, Blue Cane is just such an under control player. He is way ahead of his years when it comes to IQ. And I think
Mm-hmm.
freshmen like that will contribute right away, especially with the conference like the SEC with the pace of play. He's got pretty good size too. I think athletically, it might be a big jump for him because he's not an insane athlete, but that's the
Not
one
really.
that's the one part of his game that I think maybe there's a little um iffiness with, but nah, he's someone we both love. So yeah. And then last member, I think we could just go Toby Awaka as
He's not
the
a
last.
freshman.
He's not. Well, did he play last year? I'm going
Yeah,
off the top of my head right now, by the way.
I can tell. He played like bench minutes. He played a decent role. Mm. Just go
Even
with
with
Walters.
Phillips,
Just say Walters. You literally talked
I
about
I
him.
mean I could, yeah. I just think there's probably better freshmen than him, but
Let's move into the team
I'm
predictions
doing a
here.
commendable job.
Mm, our first team up though is LSU. I have them 10th. Um,
I have them ninth. Yeah.
I think a lot of this rides on Coach Weber.
Hmm.
A lot rides on Coach Weber, but I like the roster they built around him. Like obviously Cook's going to be a star, but like Carlos Stewart, an all conference player in the
We're very
WCC,
big on Carlos Stewart over
a
here.
solid shooter, played really nicely next to Bajemski there. Jordan Wright. I mean, Jordan Wright is a proven starter in the SEC, and he was pretty good. I mean, had some ups and downs, but has good size for his position. Can play make a little bit for his size, which is impressive. Can create
Hmm.
shots. Um, Derek Fountain was actually very good last year.
He was. He was.
Like he was their only good player outside of KJ Williams, basically. Like,
Pretty
and
much.
that's he was pretty impactful. Will Baker obviously should be a solid big man option. Trey Hannibal is okay.
Trey Hannibal. Yeah. He is who he is.
He's okay. Yeah, should be good to play minutes. Don't really want him starting if Cook isn't eligible, but I mean he will start if Cook isn't eligible, but
Hmm.
that's not something I would love to see. Damian Collins could break out. He has the tools, at least athletically, he does. And you
Hmm.
have like
I
Jalen
do like the
Reed,
Damian
Tyrell
Collins
Ward,
pickup.
Hunter Dean is a very solid backup big,
Hmm.
athletic
Very efficient
rebounder.
scorer.
Yes. And yeah, so like this is a solid roster overall. I feel like people aren't giving it quite the respect it deserves.
Because people don't
Um,
know a lot about their transfer class.
yeah, but like the guys they lost were bad too. Like Adam
Oh,
Miller was bad.
awful.
Everyone besides KJ Williams was bad. Juice Hill
Right.
was bad. Like these guys I have Brian are very good now.
Yeah. Matt McMahon's got a legacy year ahead of him for sure.
No, absolutely. Speaking about that, I'm gonna fact check this real quick, but obviously McMahon's coming from Murray State, where like Murray State has been winners. Like seems like every coach who had,
Mm,
they've basically won. And like Mick Cronin was there like back in the day in Murray State in like the
mm.
mid 2000s. Um, and then he got hired at Cincinnati. And the first year at Cincinnati, he went 2-14 in conference and 11-19 overall. And Matt McMahon's first year at LSU, he went 14-19 overall, 2-16 in conference. So I'm not
It's
saying Matt
weird.
McMahon is Mick Cronin, but like I wouldn't trust year one as an indicator of how good of a coach he actually is.
It's crazy.
Um, yeah, I'm not trying to compare him to Mick Cronin at all. Just saying that there is potential for second year Murray State head coaches. Although
That is true.
Steve Prohm was just kind of bad at high major.
Yeah, he
That
wasn't
that
great.
was a different situation though. He just I don't know. He was good with Clearbrooks players at Iowa State. But yeah, I liked your freshman class too. Corey Chess and Mike Williams, guys that might not play a
Hmm.
ton right away, but like I both like
I
those.
like chest. Yeah, I looked into him for sure.
Yeah, I think they can be solid guys if they stick around with the program. But yeah, Cook's waiver determines like if he's eligible, this could be like a sneaky like bubble team,
I
like
hate
tournament team
running
maybe.
the back of the conference because it's all waiver dependent. Like Ole
Mm,
Miss, LSU. I mean, it's just waiver dependent.
yes.
And they're two key teams. Like,
Next you know, we'll just segue into that. They're Ole Miss. I have them ninth.
um, I have them. I have them 10th right now.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, they're heavily waiver dependent. Brandon Murray, Musa Cisse, are they going to be eligible? Who knows? Um, But they still have some pieces back. Like they still have some pieces on the team. Morel and Brakefield can play at this level. Alan Flanagan can absolutely play at this level. Nunez should break out. Even like Jamarian Sharp should be a solid rim protector. And it's kind of what he is. It's kind of what CSA is too, honestly. It would just be nice to have two of those guys. Um, yeah,
Yeah, they'll be
and
around. No, they'll be better than so they did fall off defensively last year because of 1-3 nonsense. I gotta see the fit offensively. Yeah, I mean guys like
Beard just is
Flanagan have
such a
just
good
been.
coach.
He is. He's a good offensive coach, and I was complimenting his offense earlier, but I do think his defense and his offense, I do think this is going to be good, but I don't know. They definitely could benefit as well from Murray and Cisse depth wise.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah. If Cisse
Yeah, I just got to see
isn't
the fit
eligible,
offensively.
yeah, if Cisse isn't eligible to open up some minutes for Rashad Marshall, an incoming freshman, Murray isn't eligible to opens up more minutes for Nunez and TJ Caldwell. They also got Jalen Murray from St. Peter's, who I'm not huge on, but he's a solid shot
Juju,
creator. Yeah, he's a he was an interesting
he's all right.
pickup. Not sure I would have taken him to SEC school personally, but I mean, if you have scholarships to fill, like he's
You know, I think the player of this team, and this is really that simple. He's been the key player at another conference school for a couple years now. It's Alan Flanagan.
yeah,
What Alan Flanagan are we gonna get? Are we
he
gonna
was
get the
really
Alan
good.
Flanagan of 2 or 3 years
Did
ago,
he
where
tear
he
his
was
Achilles? Was that what it
elite?
was?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
mean
hard
he's
to come back from that, but he was good last
unbelievable
year.
that year, and he was improving last year. We'll see how he is. That's kind of why I'm a little reserved with Ole Miss. I know he just hasn't been the same, but there is a world where he does get back on track this year,
Yeah.
100%.
Next team, South Carolina. I have them last.
I mean, everyone should have been last.
But they seem like they're way improved. They're so much improved from
Okay,
last year.
yeah,
All that starts with Gigi Jackson leaving. He was terrible. Like, let's just put it how it was. Like, he put up some decent counting stats, but he was an extremely unimpactful player. He
yeah.
was
I know
a
you've gone into
negative.
big into his the research of how negative of a player he was. I know you've
Yeah,
done a lot of it.
he was negative. The guys they brought in, I like too.
I do. I'm a big Miles Studi
I
fan. I don't care
like.
what Vanderbilt fans
He's
say.
he's had his ups and downs, but he's a proven SEC player.
Two
Like
years
you
ago,
can,
he was
he
very
was very
good.
good 2 years ago.
And
BJ
I think
Mack is
shooting
good.
wise, he can improve there. BJ Mack is a good player for sure.
Can
He can
definitely
space
compete at
it.
this level. Talon
Mm.
Cooper, I think, should be a solid.
I think
point
Talon
guard.
Cooper is very underrated.
I agree.
A very good decision maker, comes
Hmm.
from Morehead State a couple of years ago and then Minnesota
Yes.
last year. Yeah, he was taught under a very good coach over at Morehead. He knows how
Hmm.
to play. He's not going to beat himself. He's not going to be selfish.
Yes.
Those are things that, if you're trying to turn a program around, you need point guards like that. So
Yes. Michi Johnson also kind of a point guard, probably going to play more to two in this situation where he's probably going to put up some decent scoring numbers. Josh Gray is a returning big man, very very solid big man.
for
Like
sure, I
he's
like Josh Gray. Good
doesn't
defender.
score the ball, but is good rebounder, good defender.
Mm,
Kind of does what you want when you have more scores in the team. Stephen Clark from Siddell. I'm not sure what we're trying to do with these Siddell pickups, but Hayden Brown was okay. Hayden
he
Brown was
was all right.
okay.
He was all right. He had his games.
Yeah, I think Brown was better than Clark, but
I agree.
you can work with that. I do think Colin Murray Boyles is going to be good, though. I've heard a lot of hype around Colin Murray Boyles
Okay.
to
Yeah.
contribute right away. Let's see. You got Jacoby Wright, backup point guard. Ibrahim Adiba might be returning from injury. He was hurt all of last year. Um, so I guess we'll see if we get him healthy. A very versatile player for his size. Yeah. Anything else on this team?
No, I think they're in for a better year for sure. I
I
think,
think they could be like
removing
borderline top 100. A little
yeah,
bit outside, I have them, but like
removing GG Jackson does make them better as a team.
his on-off
Um,
splits were crazy
no, I believe that because he just did
bad,
not try on the defensive end at all.
and he didn't try an off. I mean, he just like was so
Chucked
inefficient
up
offensively
really
too.
bad shots. I mean, some games he was
He
just
was
doing whatever he
bad.
wanted out there. And as a first year coach, he didn't really want to lay into him. So you'll just let him do what he wanted.
Yeah. Next
That's
team
always been a
though,
Lamont Paris thing, though. So
let's see. Next team though, Georgia. I have them 12th.
yeah, I can't put Georgia very high. I was very high on them beginning of the off season, but I just think other teams have grown on me, and I just need to see the fit of their offense. So I mean, I do have them 12th. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's a good team. SC is just a lot stronger in the bottom than it has been.
Hmm.
Sunahara, D2 Player of the Year, coming from Nova Southeastern. Noah Thomason is a good scorer, solid passer as well, coming from
Power the
Niagara.
page.
Yes, RJ Melendez, elite athlete, as doesn't really had was never really like super confident at Illinois, honestly. Like,
He was supposed to break out. People have wanted him
but
to
like
break out for a couple
I
of
feel like his
years.
confidence was a big thing. Like
I agree. The
that's
thing
like
with Brownell's coaching style is it doesn't work on everyone.
Brownell. Oh,
I meant
Brad. Did you say Brad Under? You meant to say
Brad
Brad
Underwood.
Underwood?
Yeah, his coaching
Brad.
style
Brad.
isn't, great for today's players in some way. Like he's very hard on players. He expects a lot out of them. He's a hard coach for sure. And I think for some players, it just, it's not their style of coaching. I think guys like Melendez, Coleman Hawkins over the years, it's gotten to them a bit,
Yeah,
confidence wise. And I think that was definitely a reason for the transfer for Melendez, whether he wants to admit it or not. But I do think he's going to be in a more featured role here. So kind of
which I'm.
excited to see that.
Georgia like just has a bunch of like good
Number two
starters, but they don't.
options, right?
Yeah, or more like number 4 or 5 options. Like
Yeah.
Justin Hill is okay. Jalen Delos was really good at VCU. Jabri Abdur-Rahim is a very efficient scorer. I'm interested to see if he takes a jump in usage. Maybe he
Hmm.
gets more minutes. Maybe asserts himself because I think he could be very good. Blue
I think,
Cane,
yeah,
I
I think
like
Silas as well
Silas
is very
Demery's.
good.
Demery's more of a prospect. Better defender, should be an impact player.
I do
Dylan
think
James, another
people
freshman.
overlook Tomas and shot creation. This kid can create shots. He's got good size.
Yes, yes,
I think he's going to translate better than people think.
I agree.
He's really good on all three levels. You could kind of say, oh, but Marcus Hammond didn't really turn into anything. But I think, Georgia's fit as far as Tomas and what they need is different as well. And they need a number one option. And he's probably the guy with the best
I think
track
he is their
record.
number one option.
I agree. He was very efficient last year too. And
Yeah,
that's a thing. He could score from all three levels. He's not insanely quick or athletic. That's maybe one thing if you want to really nitpick. Defensively, he
yeah.
could definitely improve. But as far as scoring the ball, like I know he comes from the MAC and people have their worries, but I watched a lot of him last year. He's got very translatable skills. He's got good size. He's strong. I think he will translate and step up to be their number one guy with Sunhara being a nice compliment.
Yes. Next team, Mississippi State. I have them at eighth in the conference.
Yeah, them at eighth because of Tolu.
Um,
I would have them higher with
a lot
Tolu
depends
being
on
healthy.
Andrew Taylor because the offense is what they need to improve. Their defense is going to be solid. Are they going to get better in offense? I don't know.
I
I
do
think
love
Andrew
their
Taylor can.
Juku pickups.
Yes, very two very
Scott
highly
is
regarded JUCO
awesome.
guys,
Um,
Scott and Fort.
mhm.
Yeah, Scott's like the perfect like Jan's player. Like should be a very physical forward. Ford's more of a skilled offensive player, athletic guard. That could impact them as well. Jimmy Bell, transfer Brian. He's a big guy.
Solid rim protector. I don't really know what you'll get there. I know why Chris Johns went after him, that's for sure.
Yes. Cameron Matthews. Cameron Matthews is a guy I like.
Yes, I do like him. And I still like Deshaun Davis.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously efficiency was an adventure last year with a lot of Mississippi State players because their guards slash did they still have Reed?
No.
Good. All right. So he's thank goodness Eric Reed's gone. As I think
They still have DJ Jeffries though, who's
okay.
like very athletic, very good in defense, but like offensively, he's an adventure.
Yeah, he takes too many shots. No, I definitely think Deshaun Davis's positives outweigh his negatives.
I like
He's a
Deshaun
great
Davis.
passer. He's great in the mid range.
Mm-hmm.
3 point range, that's not his game. He
It
definitely needs
was
to
not
limit.
anyone Mississippi State's game. They were
Yeah,
the
he
last in the country
definitely
for
needs to.
Spanish.
He needs to limit those looks. And I'm a big Shaquille Moore fan. I think he's a good
Okay,
player.
yeah,
Like
I think is
he's a high quality shot creator. He gets to his spots. He has
yeah, I
his
think he's
games where he's a bit
fine.
adventurous, but like, that was everybody on Mississippi State last year. There shouldn't be as much offensive pressure on him.
I
I
also
think this year.
I also like Josh Hubbard. I've heard a lot of Josh Hubbard hype. An incoming freshman.
5'10"
He
freshman.
had some big
Okay.
numbers in international tour. I mean, who knows how well that translates? They were playing some inferior teams, but like, still sticks out to me. I think he could be pretty solid. The
You
key
think he's going to
there,
get minutes?
it seems like there
Never
might be a
know.
bit of a hard path, but like if he'll find minutes over some
Injuries,
play.
never know.
I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, he'll find minutes if he's good enough. But there are a few keys to this team. One is Tozum's health, which is the main issue right now. I mean, if he's fully healthy
Look,
by
I'm gonna
conference
put
play,
this out into the universe. If Tolu's healthy, this team can finish as high as second. I think that's very
I think
capable.
that's extremely
Um,
possible.
you know, the ceiling of these JUCO guys,
Hmm.
the
And it
ceilings of
kind
a
of,
couple of these
yeah,
breakout candidates. I think Taylor's going to be really good for the
yeah, and
offense.
it kind of goes hand in hand with the two X factors ahead is his health and the offense. Like, are they going to be competent shooting or at least not like terrible? Like, are they going to have
Right.
guys that can make an open three? Because last year they did not. Like, can
Yeah,
Hubbard do that? Can
and
Fort do
honestly,
that? Can Taylor
Eric
do that?
Reed did attempt a good amount of those threes. He was
He
chucking
was like
up.
their best shooter last year. I mean, he wasn't good, but like
I mean, he shot the most, I think, from three. I'm pretty sure he had a lot of attempts.
they didn't have anyone who could shoot the ball.
He
Which
shot some
they
tour.
added a
He
little
shot some
bit.
tour dates for sure. Nice 1 for 7s. Oh no, there was a couple. Um,
Yeah, but like the offense, if this offense can actually be improved, like there's a lot of potential for this
yeah,
team.
I think it
But
can be
if
good
not, then
enough.
they'll
Like
just
Chris
be
John's teams offensively have relied a lot on like guys like he didn't Teddy Allen play under.
yeah.
Okay, yeah,
And
Teddy
let's
Allen
just
played
say,
under him the 1 year. But no, I think like he just needs talent to kind of carry him offensively. And I think there's more of that this year from the guys at the JUCO level. Guys like Shaquille Moore is still there. Deshaun Davis, guys that can create their own shots. I think offensively they're going to be a lot better this year. At least I think so.
Yeah, that's if they're better, and that could really impact a
Well,
lot of
and that's
things.
if Tolu Smith is healthy. This is all if Tolu Smith
Mhm.
is healthy. If he's
Yeah,
not healthy, they're
even if they're like
screwed.
a little bit better offensively, like he's a key to their team. They can't be that good
That's
shooting
why they're
Trey Bill all
eighth
year.
because I don't trust big man foot injuries.
No,
I learned that lesson last year, trusting a couple of them, and they never played.
who Ek or
Um, didn't Castleton have foot injury? No, that was maybe 2 years
he
ago.
like broke his hand or something.
Yeah.
It wasn't that Ek's
No, it was
problem.
Quentin Post. It was Post. Yes, they said Post was gonna play like at the beginning of the season, and then he was out until January with a foot injury. He was out like till February, I think. Even it was a foot. Pretty sure he was out way longer than he was projected to be.
I mean, Ek was out for the whole year.
No, I'm at Quentin Post.
Yeah, I know, but like Ek was out for the whole year.
Was it his foot though? I thought it was a
I
knee.
think so. I think it was like leg, foot.
Okay.
It
Yeah,
was
I
it
thought
was
it
it
was his
was
knee. That's
something
why I
down
wasn't
there.
counting EK. Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay.
that's the name that comes to mind. I don't know if he's even healthy yet. Next
Right.
team,
That's
no, he was
tough.
supposed to be healthy like last December. Last team, Arkansas, I had him fourth.
I had them fourth as well.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, we saw them play today, which was a good game, great game. I mean,
It's so awesome for the sport to get like an extra week or two with
mm,
these charity exhibitions going forward. Like I
I
think they
know
really have
Kansas
potential.
plays Illinois soon.
No, that was
I'm
just
not
awesome.
sure,
Like
but yeah,
that scrimmage today was literally better than every college football game except for the Oklahoma
absolutely.
Kansas
I did
game.
not watch. Actually, I did watch a few seconds of Kansas Oklahoma,
That was
but
a fun game.
when the Arkansas game started, I turned it on.
Right.
I didn't.
And it was must see basketball. These guys are
Mm-hmm.
diving on the floor. They were playing like it was a mid shoot a tournament game. They were playing like their lives were on the line. When Edie got headbutted, like the when him and Devo were diving for a loose ball. I mean, it was crazy. Like it was genuinely like one of the more physical games I've seen, period. And it didn't even count. Like it was awesome.
Yeah,
Um,
a lot of
but
energy
as
in
far
that
as
arena.
Arkansas goes, we've had our ups and downs with
I
being
don't like
up
the
on
transfer class.
Arkansas.
I don't
And
like like they're gonna be good because of Musk, but like I don't know. Like
yeah,
Battle is like the guy you want to be good. Like he's a
shoot,
scorer, but like
we've had
he's
Arkansas
had
lower than fourth, so I
injury
assume you're
issues,
trending
off the
up on
court
them.
issues. Um, Mark is an excellent defender. Takes bad shots offensively, has offensive potentials, had some big games. It was great against Auburn in the tournament, but it's also like it's a shot chucker, not really that good of a shooter.
Even today, like he made a lot of those chucking shots today, but it's
Yeah,
like
also
it's going
took
to
some
depend on the
bad
day.
ones.
It's going to
Yeah,
depend on the day for him.
Davenport, I don't
Davenport,
like. He's a shooter who can't shoot.
he's bad.
Ellis could be good, but like he's
Ellis
coming
is,
from
I think Ellis is
Louisville.
a good player.
I think he's good, but he's coming from Louisville. Like, at what point is he
I
actually
do
good?
think you need to get over the Louisville stigma. I mean, I know it's Louisville, but I think he was just stuck there under Kenny
He was the
Payne.
one guy that like I can kind of get behind. Everyone else though is
He's
just
got real shot creating abilities. Like
yeah.
he can really create his own shot.
He's decent.
And I
And
think under
like
Muss, he's gonna be crazy.
and then like Denjay Harris and Chandler Lawson are just solid forward pickups. Just kind of
That's right. They
whatever.
got Denijay Harris.
I wish
Oh,
Menifield was eligible because he's a guy I really like.
yeah.
He's gonna be so good next year.
Keon's good. I think he's gonna get
He's
better under
really good.
Muss. I do.
He's really good.
He's
I'm
got to
in on
improve
him.
his 3 point shooting, but we'll get to that.
Maybe put some weight on too. He weighed like
Yeah,
100 pounds.
that's true. That might help.
But yeah, like Brazil, I think Brazil could be amazing this year if he stays fully healthy.
Well, and
Devo Davis,
they need to
very
get him
solid guard.
touches. They need to pound Brazil the ball. The thing with this transfer
Yes.
class that you could see, there aren't many willing passers,
No.
and
Ellis
a
is
lot
like the
of
only one.
a lot of Brazil's touches, I think, came off rebounds today. Like they really weren't like
Mm,
finding him the ball. Like he could be a 20 points per game scorer as far as I'm concerned.
maybe.
If you
He has a
wanted to get
potential.
him, if you wanted to get him involved that much, but I don't think he's going to be on this roster because they just
Yeah.
don't look for him enough.
Devo Davis, very solid point guard option. Very solid guard. If you get the good Devo Davis, he's like
Right, he
elite.
can be very out of control. Arkansas fans do
Yes.
overrate him, no question about
But
it,
he's like
because
so good. He's good at the end of the season. always. Like he's
Yeah,
amazing.
no, of
And then like
course.
you give him like lofty expectations, and he's like not that good to start the season.
Mm-hmm. No,
But
exactly.
yeah, Mekhi Mitchell, I actually really like Mekhi Mitchell. He was a super effective player last year,
Mm-hmm.
which is like kind of opposite of how he was at
I
Rhode
loved
Island.
how Chandler Lawson looked today. He was
Yeah.
awesome. I think he can
Did
be a really
Jalen Graham play
positive.
today at all?
No, I didn't see him.
I didn't see him either. Leighton Blocker had some flashes though.
Okay, I didn't see his minutes.
You
Okay.
didn't see Leighton Blocker playing? He made some plays.
I must have turned it off. I was spotty. I was in between
Yeah,
a
I mean,
couple of
I
different
was in and
games.
out. But Blocker had some impactful plays. I think he's a freshman that can really contribute.
That's good.
Bayfall is another freshman. I don't think he's gonna play. I think he's a project
Yeah,
piece. Very highly rated, but project piece. I think Arkansas is gonna be pretty good. I mean,
I do.
like
If they didn't,
Muss will win no matter who he has. Like
I think
he can
Muss
just get all
like
these random misfits like he's gotten, and like he's gonna be good with them.
he's entering the top five soon for me,
Like
man. Like
I don't know if I love this roster, but like he's so good.
he's unreal. With how good he is, people need to respect him more as a coach. Honestly, as people respect him as a recruiter, of course, he's bringing all these insane classes, but his in-game coaching ability is elite. Like people don't his ability to dictate pace, like I was saying earlier, like they can speed up any team in the country. They can it's really magical. If anyone else had this roster, I don't think I'd trust them.
No, not at all.
I would have
I
massive
don't trust Cleve
skepticism.
Battle with like anyone else.
Right. No, literally.
I
I
mean, you
wouldn't
walked
trust
out on Temple like at the end of last year.
yeah, no, that
Um,
was something. I wouldn't
eh,
trust Tremont Mark in a lot of places either.
he's.
But he's a good defender. His defense does
I mean,
travel.
he played. He was okay at like Houston. It was an amazing team. He's just don't shot chuck and you'll be fine. Which is probably easier said than done. Next team, no Florida. We both are very high in Florida. I had him second.
Yeah, I have him
Um,
second as well.
they're like a consensus like seventh or eighth place team. So I think we got to talk a little bit about
We
why we
do.
have him second.
We do.
Um, first of all, it all starts with Kugel, who is has a potential to be the Conference Player of the Year. In your opinion, could be one of the better players in the country. He was playing amazing at the end of last season. Um,
They played
obviously,
tight with Kentucky without a lot of their best players playing, and he was the
yeah,
reason for that.
he was
Like,
efficient during his stretch too. I mean,
mhm.
scrimmages are just scrimmages, but like he's been putting up some good numbers per the box scores in their secret scrimmages. Walter Clayton, I think, is amazing. We've already gone over why he's amazing.
Zion
Tyree Samuel is
Poland
the
was a
best player
really
at Seton.
yeah, true.
Tyree Samuel is the best player on Seton Hall.
Mhm.
Like people aren't talking about him at all.
They
Like
are. I almost snuck him on a
Has a good mid
conference
range
team.
game.
Yeah.
Poland's a very good mid range scorer, good point guard as well. Will Richard, people aren't talking about him enough. He was
Will
so good
Richard was
offensively.
Will Richard was literally their best guard last year. He was like he was a great shooter. He was a
He
great
was elite
defender.
offensively. Like he
He
wasn't a high
was.
usage guy, but like he had the highest offensive rating in SEC play of any team, and Florida was bad offensively.
They had to suffer through. He had to suffer through Kyle Lofton and
He
Myron
had like the
Jones.
highest true shooting percentage in SEC play, and Florida was still so bad offensively. Like he was amazing.
That's a testament to
Hanglockton,
how bad Lofton and Jones were.
yeah, Lawson's always been a game manager. He doesn't actually do much. Hanglockton is
The potential with him
he has
is
potential.
massive. Brim
Even if he's not
protector.
like great right away, he's still going to be a very
Yeah,
solid
he's more of a
defender.
project piece. That's why like
He's gonna
NBA teams have contacted him already.
yeah.
People see his upside and ceiling, and I think they just want to get more of a sense for it. And in 2 years, I think he will start to get really looked at by a lot of teams.
Hmm.
The Nuggets just want to get their name in the bucket early, of course. And they contacted him last year at Marshall, and he was like 19 years old and doing. He was great with blocks. He could stretch the floor a little bit. Like just a lot of potential.
Yeah, it's growing, but yeah, Condon is someone that could be very good as well right away. Very good rebounder, should be a solid inside scorer. Very skilled for a big man coming from Australia. Thomas Ha, another freshman that could really do something right away
He
as
is
well. Um,
some skills.
athletic
from
skill
the perk
can.
schools we talked about in the other
Yes,
podcast. He can handle the ball
yeah,
for his
very good ball
size,
handler for his
six
size.
nine. He could shoot.
Has some
Really
shooting
good
skills.
athlete,
Yes,
actually.
he is. He is.
Yeah, I hope he gets some minutes, but Condon's you know, breakout will affect that a little
Condon's
bit.
like a 5 though. Ha's like
He
a
is 4,
3-4. He's
four
like a more like
three.
4-3. More like a
Yeah,
4-3, I
that's
think.
true. The
But
minutes I think will be there. I think what's his
yeah,
name?
they're not
Sharp.
like super deep.
Was it
Rishwane maybe could
Sharp?
play.
Was it Sharp who left, right? Or what was that guy's
Who?
name from Yale?
Uh, oh, Jarvis, EJ Jarvis.
Jarvis. Yeah, him
He
leaving will
he would have
help.
been
But he
good, but
wasn't that great. Yeah.
was he better in Condon? I don't think so.
No. No, I
I mean, you probably
agree.
would rather have him than not, but he didn't
Condon's
leave
ceiling is
because
so high, man.
I'm sure Jarvis didn't decide to quit basketball because he was getting all the minutes in the rotation.
He
there's
was
a lot
definitely
behind
losing
those things.
minutes.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, he's Yale grad. I'm sure he's doing fine. um, but yeah, Rishwane was a elite shooter under Golden. Was a terrible
2
shooter
years
last
ago,
year.
yeah.
I mean, it's worth a take. Denzel Aberdeen maybe
Sure.
could break out into like a backup point guard. Um, Alex Shimshik, I believe he's hurt right now, but I think he should
Yeah,
be
he's hurt.
back.
hmm
He might be back at some point. No, I don't think it's like season ending.
That's good.
We'll see though.
I think people are just massively disrespecting this roster. I don't think it's even
Yeah,
maybe we're a little
everyone
all
besides
in, but
Castleton
like
last year was just everyone that lost because
even
Castleton was
Castleton had his
terrible.
moments
Castle, no,
last
he
year.
was amazing. Don't try to. He was
No, what
amazing.
I'm
He
saying
was
is
elite.
he's always gonna be elite. You know why? Because he cleans up all their misses. They
Yeah,
brick so many shots. He's gonna be there. His
but
body
he's
language though sucks. His body language needed to be better last year. Like he's moping. He's definitely it was
yeah.
part of like the losing culture that was going on last year.
Oh,
Now it's gone
I think the
better.
problem was everyone except for him.
Right. I mean, of course. And he was frustrated, I bet. Yeah. Now obviously it's gotten better. He's at the Lakers now, so I bet his body language is just fine. So but last year, it was he had he got better as the season went on. I'll put it that way. Yeah, because early on he had his
He was good.
games where I'm like, what is he doing? But I don't know. It's just, the games where I watch, he doesn't look good. And, when I don't watch, he looks great. So, yeah, that happens with a lot of players that, you watch throughout the league.
Yeah.
So,
Everyone else like
um,
Lofton was bad. Myron Jones
yeah,
was bad. Alex Fudge somehow in the NBA he was bad.
yeah.
Koichi Reeves was bad. Yeah. They got their guys back. They got a lot of good guys in. Golden's a fantastic coach. Very good like analytical coach.
Hmm. They're going to be
Should be a
hunting
rising star.
threes and laps. That's how the
Yes.
analytical coaches go. And that's going to be a really effective offense.
Yes. I like the two big look too. That's how he was successful at San Francisco playing like
I
two
love too
bigs.
big look.
Um two smaller. I mean like it's
And these are
a
bigs that can
little
stretch
different.
the floor a little too.
But like
With
if
the
they start
hope.
pulling Clayton, Kugel, Samuel, and Hancock, and that's like almost exactly how a San Francisco team that was the top 25 team in the country was
Sure.
set up with like the two smaller guards, a wing, and two bigs. Like obviously you're gonna run things a little more through Kugel, which is a little different than they did in San Francisco, but like you had that same look of like that was how he was so successful.
Weren't those bigs at San Francisco like also shooters too? Like they could
No,
shoot a
no,
little.
no, no,
Okay, no, they were just okay.
no. I
All
mean
right, I see the
Patrick Tape
comparison.
and
They've had a lot of
Dennis
stretch bigs
Smrkowski.
with like Zane Meeks and everyone like that over
Yeah,
the years.
he
So
was a bench player on that team, but yeah,
okay.
he was a stretch
Mm.
big. Um, yeah, let's see. Next team, Auburn. I have Auburn seventh.
Yeah, yeah, I have them seventh as well.
I
I
like
I've been
them. I
I've been
mean,
shuffling around. I used to have them like at 4 or 5, but then you just compare rosters to
do
Arkansas
they
and
have the best front
Alabama.
court in SEC?
You got Shania Broom, you got
And
Jalen
Jalen Williams. I
Williams.
mean,
Yeah, there's an argument there.
yeah,
I
Williams
I
is
could
good.
agree. Yeah, Williams is
Um,
good.
Chad Baker Mazzara. I don't know what we'll get from him, but like he has a lot of potential. Was
He
good at San
does.
Diego State. Just needs to stay out of
Did
trouble
did
off the
he go
court.
back to JUCO, right?
Yeah, it was he went to JUCO, academic reasons, something like that. But he was He was removed from San Diego State due to those reasons.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, Denver Jones,
Someone I
very
love. I'm
really short
annoyed I didn't
evolved.
have him on conference teams or
Aiden
transfers because I
Holloway
love
should be
him
good. Dylan Cardwell, elite backup big man.
for sure. Great rim protector.
Trey Donaldson was very good defensively. Maybe he is good in offense this year. I
Now,
could
the
see it.
reason I think we're a little skeptical with Auburn is good old KD.
But like, is Katie Johnson that bad when he's off a bench role? Like,
I
he's a
agree
good bench player.
for
Like
sure.
Cheney Johnson too. The D2 transfer should be impactful. Like, I mean, like obviously I'm not like incredibly high on them, but like I don't have
Yeah, I
many
think this
issues for
roster
Katie
depth is a little
Johnson.
better than people think
Yeah,
because I see
this is a deep team.
because I see people
Chris
saying,
Moore
"Oh,
down there too. He can play.
because Auburn's got like six guys, they're not
They have
deep."
a solid 10. They have a
No,
solid
they
10.
do. No, if you really dive into where these players are from, like they can definitely contribute.
Yeah.
Um,
Bruce Pearl, another fantastic
yeah,
coach.
I love Bruce, man. Awesome.
Moving next team, no Vanderbilt. They were somehow like 11-7 in conference last year. I don't know how that happened. Um,
SEC moment.
yeah, I wish teams. I wish a double round robin was possible for every conference, but they didn't play a super easy conference schedule either. I still wish a double round robin could happen. No, it never will.
Mm, no, for
That would
sure.
make conference standings actually matter. Which
Mm,
I mean, still like Robbins was so good though.
he was. He was insane last year.
He was so good. Like
That was the best Liam
yeah,
Robbins
I
I've
have
ever
Vanderbilt
seen.
14th or
Yeah, I have them
13th,
second.
13th. I have them better in South Carolina. And I think they're
Yeah,
not
I have
bad
the
either.
second to last.
Like I think they go into season with hopes that they're going to be contending for the tournament. I mean, their
True.
backcourt's good. Lawrence and
Mannion.
Mannion were
Uh,
playing very good at the end of last season. Evan Taylor should be a
sus.
shooter. I don't know. I don't think he's an SEC player.
No, I
Colin
don't
Smith
either.
should be improved though. Van Allen
Three
Lubin.
and D wing, yeah.
Outside of that though, like Lee Dort, maybe you get some big man minutes out of
The
him.
depth is a problem.
Tassos Camateros can stretch the floor a little bit, but he might be
Defensively, black
mismatched
hole.
defensively. Yes. He's yeah.
I don't think he's an SEC player personally, but that is
Not
just me.
Paul Lewis maybe get something out of. The
I do like
freshman
Paul
class is a
Lewis.
lot of like guys that aren't that good. Jason Rivera Torres, he's the one guy that could contribute right away. Like I don't know how much I buy the freshman class to like be that good right away.
Yeah, they seem to
Honestly,
be a project class.
yeah. But Stackhouse is a great developer. I just
He
feel like he
is.
hasn't been great at getting guys to stick around. Like I
That
feel
is
like a
true.
lot of guys like that have
That
left.
hurts. The
Like a lot of
NBA
guys
is
just like
taking up
transfer.
some of them. Yeah,
Stackhouse is a phenomenal developer. X's knows. He just needs to get talent. Like
for
that's
sure. That's been a
like Gabe
problem, and
Robbins
it's
was
hard.
so
It's
good
hard at
there. Like
Vandy to get
Lawrence
talent.
is
It
getting a
is
lot better. Mannion started to get really good as the season progressed. Colin Smith should be amazing, but like at the end of the day, the people that he brought in were Van Lubin, which is a good pickup. Evan Taylor, which it's okay. Cometeros, he's a solid backup, but like not a C player. And then five freshmen. Rivera Torres was ranked 150th, and he was the highest in the class. Like,
it's not going to cut it.
yeah,
The
I,
transfer class too has got to be better if your freshman class sucks. Like
yeah. At least they have like returning talent, but
that's
still,
true. It was big for them to get Lawrence back.
yeah. Next team, though, Missouri. I'm just gonna let you. I mean, you have the jersey on.
I
What do you want to say
do.
about it? Where'd you have? No, I have them 11.
I have them ninth. They've been growing on me. I did have them like
Didn't you
11th.
have Ole Miss ninth?
I had them 10th. No, I did have
No,
them 10th.
didn't you have LSU ninth?
I have LSU. I did think move teams back here. Let me count. No, yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. I moved. Yeah, I did have LSU 9. Um, yeah, I don't know if Mizzou's better than LSU. Yeah, I don't think so. I know Mizzou fans are in shambles of me saying that, but I'm gonna have them 10th. It's
Wait,
fixed.
so you're bumping down Ole Miss then?
Yeah, because I
Okay,
don't know.
no, that's fair. I just wanted to know what you're actually doing with this, but yeah, like it's again same thing as Georgia. There's so many fifth best players in this team. Like, who is the best player? Probably
John
Tanjay.
Tonje.
He was
Yeah.
the second best player on not top 100 Colorado State. Like, I really like Tanjay, but like
Oh,
That's
there's a
kind of
reason for that
me
because
just
Isaiah
finding
Stevens is one of the best
downsides.
guards in the country.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find all the downsides here. But like, is Sanjay really a number one SEC option? Like, he like I don't know.
If you want to talk issues, Caleb Grill is not someone I really trust.
He can shoot it though.
Yeah.
He's good.
And I think maybe Gates will get something out of him. Get
Yeah.
him to improve for sure. Um, Sean East, not someone I like at all. Um, Vanover, I think, is a little bit underrated.
I think people hate on him too much. He's like Jamarian Sharp if Sharp could shoot a little bit.
You know, exactly.
And people like to hype up Sharp.
It's true. I don't really hype up Sharp all that much, so
Yeah,
um,
neither do I.
but no, I think Vanover can contribute in the system.
Mm-hmm.
The highest person I'm on, I think Tamar Bates is going to make the biggest jump.
You
Out
have
of
to
the
have
guys,
someone. You have to have someone do something like
but
that.
you do need someone established too, like you've been saying, that's been in the system. And Nick Honor is actually going to be really big. Getting him
Yeah.
back, he had his best season in his college career last year. I think efficiency wise, he was very good.
Yes.
He was great passer, good on defense. It's so good to have that floor general presence back because without him,
Yeah.
I'd have us a lot lower.
Aiden Shaw breakout maybe.
I just don't love Aiden Shaw.
Yeah.
See, I'm kind of with.
Maybe
I think
not.
Mizzou fans overhype him.
Kurt
Off
Lewis though, the
yes, no,
JUCO Player of the Year.
I'm very
He could be
high on
good.
him.
He could be very good. I mean, he was a
Um,
good D1 player
and I
before at
like
Eastern
Trent
Kentucky.
Pierce. I'm a big fan of
Mm,
Trent Pierce. But no, Shaw. That's why I think Pierce can play because I don't think Shaw's going to keep the job.
yeah, I'd probably rather. Man, Pierce is kind of raw, but he's gonna be good though.
Shaw is very raw too.
That's
That's the
true.
thing.
I think
That was the thing
Pierce actually
last
has
year.
like
Like
Pierce has more skills.
Shaw,
Jordan Butler. He's the brother of John Butler,
mhm,
so probably a
he's
similar
decent
play.
prospect. Yeah.
Yeah, should be able to long, athletic, skilled for his size. You know, Jesus Carrero has kind of been growing on me.
He has a lot of upside. Like
He
I
has
see why Mizzou fans are. I seen the
he
one
has
Mizzou hype's a good friend of mine, and he looked into the film of him, and he's a very intriguing player. Like he definitely has upside in the system. I just don't know how much he'll play, but he will
yeah,
definitely come off the bench. I think. I just
yeah,
don't know
but
for how long. Like
we haven't even talked about Noah Card yet, might be their best
yeah,
player.
you know what?
Mizzou
That's
is
right.
deep. Like they don't have the top end talent, but like they're deep. And Dennis Gates is a
Carter's got a
fantastic
lot of
coach.
skills. Like he can
I
score
did.
from all three levels.
Mm-hmm. I didn't want to put his team 11th, but like his conference got so much better.
It did at the bottom. It's very good. That's what makes this
Mm-hmm.
conference great. Not the top really, but the bottom.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. But yeah,
It's
like
tough to pick the bottom.
Dennis Gates is probably going to make this team a little better than we think they are. Is their defense going to be competent this year, though?
Right. That's the
Their offense
thing.
is probably going to be worse.
I think the rim protection
I mean,
actually got
Vanover's an
better.
elite rim
Yeah,
protector,
no,
but
the rim
like,
protection definitely got better.
yeah,
It's
that's
just the
true.
perimeter defense that's going to be an adventure.
Maybe got a little better. I don't see their offense getting better though.
Yeah. No, our offense didn't get better.
Yeah. Next team
But it will still
notes.
be good.
Yeah, Tennessee. We both had them first. They're just the best team in this conference. They're just elite on defense. Solid amount of returning talent. Necht is a good transfer that should be able to really put up some points right away. Vescovi should also help with putting up points. They have
It did suck that who left last? Oh yeah,
Ledlum.
Ledlum
Yeah.
left last second, but Josiah Jordan James I think could fill that void perfectly fine.
Yeah. I think
Um,
Jordan James better maybe in the first place.
Possibly he was a little inefficient last year, but I think that will get better. Definitely with Julian Phillips gone and other guys that were contributing to that.
I like Meshack.
Okay, yeah, no, Meshack is pretty good.
He played
I
with a
do
lot of
like him.
energy. He plays with a
Yeah.
lot of
Um,
energy. Really
Tennessee is
came
just
on towards the
so
end of last
physical,
year.
man. That's why I love Tennessee.
Hmm.
I did actually have them in the Sweet 16 last year, and a lot of people were having them out in the first round. I loved their draw last year. They really just they punched Duke in the mouth last year, and they were
Hmm.
so physical. No, I think Rick Barnes doesn't get enough credit for last year's run without Zakai Ziegler. I think last year's run was pretty good for his
Yeah,
standards.
I mean, yeah.
Sure, oh, he lost to FAU, he's a scrub, he sucks. That's what most people are saying, but he beat Duke. Like that's not a bad thing to hang your hat on. Um,
And everyone
so
at Duke going to the Final Four.
right, exactly. So, no, I think Rick Barnes definitely gets too much hate. I've been saying that for a while. Like, he could definitely coach in the regular season too. That's not up for debate. And defensively, they're going to be great. Although with Necht, obviously you lose defense. He's not a great defender. He's going to have his problems there.
Yeah,
But they'll be able to mask his defense with
yeah.
guys like Ziegler on the perimeter. Josiah Jordan James can defend. Toby
Like you got
Awaka when he comes
Adu.
in. Adu.
Adu's a very good defender inside. Freddie DeLeone,
They just got great depth too.
redshirt freshman point
They're
guard. I
just
think he
gonna.
could be.
The thing about Tennessee is like even if they don't tire you down in the first half, like the amount of different bodies they can throw at you, especially in the front court, they can just beat you up. Like they're just gonna wear teams down, man. The other teams just don't have the big bodies to really battle with them for 40 minutes.
Yeah, yeah. I think DeLeone could be some solid contributor right away. I think he's probably going to start until Ziegler is healthy. At a
Okay.
point guard, redshirt freshman. I mean,
Mm,
enrolled early, so he's more of a 2023 guy. But like, I think he could be very solid and could
okay.
like be a NBA draft prospect. And you got Meshack there too for some insurance. Jordan Gainey should provide some shooting off the bench. Um,
USC
yeah, I'm
Upstate.
not sure about their freshman class right away. DJ Jefferson, redshirt freshman, maybe he could do something. JP Estrella, Cameron Carr, Kate Phillips. I'm not sure how much we're going to see out of those guys this year,
Yeah, they're
but
not going to play. Just again, they're just too deep for
yeah,
those guys to get minutes.
I agree. But yeah, very, very solid team. They're going to be amazing on defense. I think there's
Offensively, they'll be Tennessee. They'll be on and off some games, but I do think we're going to see less off games this year because I think shooting wise, they did get better
yeah. I
with
mean,
guys like
Vesky was a
Nick,
good shooter. Nets is a good shooter. Gainey's a good
and that was
shooter.
and that was a big part of the problem was their shooting last year. It was just
Mm.
very on and off, and I think they did improve there.
Yeah. Next team, no Kentucky. I have them sixth.
Uh,
Fifth. I have them fifth.
I've been dropping them a little recently. Believe I have them 7. Double check that. Mm, I have them 8. Yeah, I have them 8.
I thought you had
Or
Mississippi State at
oh
8.
no, I have 7. I have them at
I thought you
7.
had Auburn
Okay,
at 7.
I just can't count. Seeing double tonight. I move teams around. Yeah, we'll just say they're 8. I have been dropping them, but yeah.
I guess we're gonna
Um,
have two eighth place teams here for you, but it's
Yeah, no, I'll send you my notes if you don't believe me, bud. But I've been shuffling throughout just because and that's how I've been all off season. I've just been shuffling my SEC standings like every couple days, like in my head. But as far as Kentucky goes, I worry about this team defensively. That is my number one concern. And we
yeah.
even saw it the other night in a scrimmage when they were completely
Mm-hmm.
getting handed to them in the first half by a
NAI.
NAIA.
Yeah,
Like,
it was a good program, but like that can't happen.
sure, yeah. Defensively, like, are these freshmen gonna want to put effort in on that end besides Justin Edwards and Trey and well, the
Wagner
freshmen?
Wagner should be good. I mean, Reeves is a bigger issue on defense than any of the freshmen.
Right, that's true.
Reeves is so one dimensional. Like he's a good
Yeah,
scorer, good shooter, but
and I
like
think part of it is
people
just because
overrate him so much. He
people,
cannot do anything besides shoot and score, which he's very good at. But like when you look at the actual best players in the conference, the country, like they can do multiple things. He cannot do multiple things.
I agree. I mean that he was that way at Illinois State, and
He's good though. Like I don't want
he's a
to.
good player. The thing is with Antonio Reeves is he's very skinny, like, and he's
Yeah.
always been that way, and that limits what he can do on defense. But he doesn't even put effort on that end to
Yeah, I mean,
begin with.
I don't
So
think it makes him not try at
right,
all or not
exactly.
pass the
It's not an
ball.
excuse for him not to try, right?
Yeah.
But no, yeah, he's definitely something I look at. Their depth at center is a
Yeah,
concern.
I mean, like I've loved Bradshaw, but he's hurt. Onyenso, should be a good like big body inside. He's hurt.
Yeah, I
Ivic
just
isn't even eligible.
no the effort defensively, and that was a big thing for them last year. Like being consistently locked in defensively is going to be a problem.
Mm,
And
yeah.
I will say this: like, there's so many good backcourts in this conference that will feast on if Kentucky doesn't defend well. They could
Also,
be
like
in some trouble.
who's going to be passing the ball in this team?
That's another good question.
Like Wagner's a point guard, but like he's not like a pass first point
He's
guard.
a score first
I
point
mean,
guard.
Dillingham is like the best passer on his team, but like I don't think he's going to be an effective college player right away.
Right, and that was a problem in that scrimmage as well. The offense wasn't fluid and moving properly. That's good. The point guard thing's another problem. Would you say
Shepard could play
Dilling?
a little bit point guard, but yeah.
Okay, would you say Dillingham's a score first point guard? I mean,
I mean, he's very like skilled. I think he's more of a player meant for like the some like street ball park games like that, like kind of that skill set. But he's very skilled. Not sure if he's the best fit for a college game right away.
okay,
Um, but he if he could like be a solid passer, then I could kind of live with that.
right.
Willing
That's
passer, just more of that. Yeah, Adu Tiro, maybe a guy I know a lot of Kentucky fans hype him up. Maybe he breaks out, has some good size, has been with the program, which about no one else can say. Trey Mitchell, obviously, we talked about very solid pickup there late in the portal.
they needed him. Yeah.
Jordan Brooks could play a little bit this year. Joey Hart probably not going to play this year. Maybe won't play ever. Yeah, I wonder
He
if
was that international guy they've
Ivicic,
been
like he's
hyping
not
up.
eligible right now though.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So I also think he's overrated.
Mm,
But he could play the five because they don't have any healthy fives. Which
right.
Trey Mitchell again, I kind of like him in the five because they
Yeah,
can
he's good.
play a more modern offensive game, which they could do with Bradshaw as well. Bradshaw's good if he's healthy. Like Bradshaw's a guy I really do like. I like Edwards and Bradshaw a lot. I like Wagner. Like I like this freshman class. It's just such a bad freshman class overall. Like the overall 2023 freshman class is bad.
Yeah,
And
for
like these
sure.
players are good, but like
In the grand
Zion
scheme of
Williamson is not
things,
walking through the door in this
no,
class.
absolutely not.
But it is a lot of directions the team can go. They could go up, they could go down, they could go in
Stay in the
between, which
middle.
is where I had
Right.
them. I think they're still gonna be solid though. If they're not though, the fans will be calling for Cal's head.
That is a lock.
Next team, no, Texas A&M. I had them third.
I had them third. Yeah.
Very very solid team. They were very good in SEC play, maybe a little bit better than they actually were. But they have a lot of continuity. Dexter Dennis, the only guy they really lose. They brought in Eli Lawrence, who I really like. I think he's a guy that could plug in right away. Could solid defensive player, solid athleticism, solid shooter. Jace Carter is another guy that can solid score from inside the arc. You don't want him shooting threes; he just takes too many and he's not efficient. But he's a good player overall if you limit that. The other transfer they got, Brian Wildens Levesque, really helps out the rim protection. Yeah, Wade Taylor started his team, one of the best players in the country. Very good on both ends. Tyrese Radford was a little inefficient last year, but
That should get
he's
better. Yeah.
very, very strong guard, very
Experienced.
big. He started to kind of expand his shooting range too. Like when he was
Mm-hmm.
at Virginia Tech, he didn't shoot at all, but like now
No,
he
he
is kind
didn't.
of shooting a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Henry Coleman, Julius Marble, both very, very solid bigs, nothing more, nothing less. Um,
Always been a big Henry Coleman fan. They just,
yeah,
obviously they don't get him a lot of
solid.
looks.
Marble's more of a higher usage player, more of a little
Mm.
bit of a skilled inside score. Manio Basecki, maybe you're buying him a breakout year.
The thing with
Solid
A&M
from
this year, right?
Washington.
I just don't think they got a lot better.
Yeah.
And I say that they just didn't make any huge splashes. Eli Lawrence
Yeah.
could turn
They're about the
into
same as they were last year. Dexter Dennis was
right.
very good, so it's not lost
Dennis
and glaze
was
over.
valuable.
He was their third
I
best
think
player.
okay, all right, yeah. I mean, offensively, he was up and down, but defensively, he was great. That is his lead attribute.
Yes.
As far as just Jace Carter, I don't think makes him that much better. But Solomon Washington, as you say, a lot of I think their ceiling as a team depends on him.
Very good. Obaseki, I think, could really. I mean, like he was a highly ranked recruit. He's shown some
Okay.
flashes. But yeah, Washington's very athletic, very good defensive player. Didn't really show it in offense in year one, but
Is
if
he a
he,
big, right?
he's kind of like a forward, kind of like a
Okay.
4-3. Um,
I think
and not
he's
really
out
a big, not
there.
really big. Your backup big is Levac, and Anderson
Right.
Garcia is like a backup four as well.
He's not bad.
Good defender. Um, Garcia is. Hayden
Hmm.
Hefner also returns. I mean, he's kind of whatever.
It's
Um,
crazy he got minutes, but I mean, he's like,
yeah, looking at
he's
this
a system
roster,
player. It's just
yeah,
nothing
he can
that's,
shoot a little bit.
there's nothing crazy here. Like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
even Wade Taylor and
Wade
Radford,
Taylor's good. Wade Taylor's very good.
the
He is
fact that
very
he's
good.
considered one of the best players in college
He
basketball is
how is he
crazy to me.
why isn't he
The
though? Like
reason, like, he's not, I don't even think he's going to play pro. Like, he just doesn't have shot
he's
creating
I mean he's gonna play
skills.
pro somewhere.
I mean, I remember in
He,
mid league.
I guarantee you he will get a bag
I
in
mean,
Europe.
yeah.
I
He's
guarantee
just,
you. He's not like I mean he's I don't like love Wade Taylor either. Like Wade Taylor isn't one of my like favorite guys to watch, but like at the end of the day, he's so effective on both ends.
he gets his
Can
points,
score from
you
inside or
know.
out. Can really get to the line. I mean, very
He
efficient from
just
there.
doesn't have any of
Very
those
good
like
passer.
amazing shot creating qualities that I
No,
look
but like
for.
at the end of the day, he's
But
such
he
a
does
solid
do
point
it.
guard.
But he's kind of like Jalen Pickett in that sense, right? My eyes don't tell me he's amazing, but then you look at the stat sheet and he's amazing, right?
Hmm.
He's one of those guys for me.
Yeah,
Like,
I could see that.
um, because man, against Penn State, he looked like one of the worst players on the floor. I genuinely,
That's another thing I worry about Texas A&M. They're just not built for the tournament. Like
they're
they're like
not
style of
like,
play. Like
and I kept trying telling people that last year, like they don't do anything amazing. That's not a good thing. Like you need to do something well, in the tournament. And maybe you could say it was their defense, but there was games last year where they gave up a lot of points, and Penn State was one of them. Um, it's just they don't do anything well, and that's not, it's still just me.
yeah, I mean the SEC was a bad shooting conference last year. So
It was.
So like, and then they just got lit up by Penn State because they didn't have to guard it. Like SEC is traditionally not a good 3-point shooting conference. In fact, it was
It's
like
not. And
nearly the worst in the country last year. And like, yeah,
to
that's
compete in the tournament, you have to shoot the three well. And shot a
I
lot of
mean
attempts and did
that's
not
more of a
make them.
defensive issue for them, honestly, which is what I was getting at.
Yeah, I
Like
agree. They didn't have the 3 point. Funk out whatever he wanted off screens. They didn't care at all when it comes to like tracking him off screens. And the thing is, like, you don't see those kind of players in the ADC. Come off screens that are hunting for threes constantly. Would you say the closest guy that this year recovered? Like maybe that comes off screens quick, but like still um, the
um
Jordan Hawkins type, that they'll pull up from anywhere, quick release. That was just a big wrinkle for them to guard someone like that because they just haven't seen a player like that, and he did let them
yeah.
up.
Yeah. Next you know
All right, who
Alabama,
we got next?
the last team in the conference. I had them sixth. Um they're kind of growing on me
Oh,
though.
yeah, no, you could see what's there. I have them fifth. Yeah. I just it's the Grant Nelson thing. I'll just get
Grant
down to
Nelson's
it.
good.
I
Grant
just don't
Nelson's
think
good
he's
there.
very good.
Well,
I don't think he's an SEC good. Like he couldn't even really defend well in the Summit League. How is that going to
he
go
was a good
now?
Summit League defender. I mean, I don't think he's going to be a good SC defender, but he was a good defender in the Summit League.
Just
That's not saying anything, but he was.
right. And I just think his offensive game isn't versatile enough. Like he's
I
not
mean,
a great
isn't that
3 point
kind of
shooter.
yeah? I
Um,
mean, That's
in
true.
it in the what's it called, the pre-draft, he had some of the winning numbers of any prospect,
Okay.
and it was.
I will admit it, that is very true. But the other day, I heard someone say that like that is true, but like the worst player in the G League Combine 2 years ago was Baylor Shireman. Like he was terrible. Like as a Creighton fan, I was kind of watching. Like hopefully he wasn't like he wouldn't play that good, so he would come back because that's when he was kind of an offense. He was horrible, and he ended up being like really good. So I don't know, like if he's the worst player,
Completely different players. You should know that.
but like
Baylor
it's not
Shireman's a
it's not
guy who
like the
comes off
style
the
of play.
screen and guards.
It's like the
It kind of
situation.
is.
Like it's not.
Like
I'm not
Grant
saying
Nelson's
like
not really a willing 3-point shooter
I'm
to
all I'm
begin
saying is that Grant Baylor
with.
Shireman was the worst player at G League camp. Grant Nelson was the
All
worst
right.
player in the combine. It doesn't mean they automatically suck.
I have much other reasons for why he's terrible.
He's not
Um,
terrible. He's why is he
Connor
terrible?
Vanover clamped him in the. No, he held him like 5 points. He couldn't do anything because here's the thing: like he doesn't have a face-up game. All of his moves are in the post, and he's not going to be able to move around anybody in the SEC that strong and big bigs. Like you need to have more of a versatile post game. I see him getting like 8 to 10 points a game, but like I just don't see him making an all conference team.
I think
Like
he could.
I don't know. His game isn't versatile enough. He needs to improve his perimeter
He
skills.
he. I thought his staple of his game was he's versatile. Like he's pretty athletic. Like I mean, he can handle the ball a little bit.
That's
Like
his thing. He handles the ball, but like
I
you're not
mean,
gonna be
he's
able
not
to.
like as good as NBA draft Twitter thinks he is, but like
You're not gonna be able to blow past SEC defenders off the
no,
dribble.
but he still has a lot of skills in that area for like an SEC big. Like I mean, he's gonna be
Yeah,
a forward too. He's gonna be like playing like every position on the floor.
for sure. He's
Um,
gonna. I want to see how Oates uses him. And
I
if
mean,
they
he was
use
still
him,
very efficient from inside, pretty
mm,
athletic. I mean, maybe that won't hold up against SEC. It won't hold up against SEC, but like
I just see
yeah,
him being a role player. And that's not slander towards him because he's on a good team. He's on a tournament team. I don't see the hype in him as a prospect, really.
yeah. I mean,
There's
people
just a
hype him
lot
up so
of
much.
there's just a lot of bigs that do the same things people hype him up for at a much higher level. Like people
Who
compare him.
does like who?
I mean, people would compare him like Chet Holmgren, and
Oh, I mean, obviously
oh, he
that's
handles the
that's.
ball. He's Chet. Oh.
I mean, he's not like Chet Holmgren, but like, there's not too many players in college basketball that are like do the things he does at that high of level.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that is a pretty rare skill set this year. I mean, in years past, there's been some bigs that can handle it. Shoot,
But he can like really run the floor too. He's not just like
I'd take a guy like Emmanuel Miller over him every day of the week. There's somebody.
it's slightly different, but also slightly the same. Yeah,
That's just someone
maybe.
I can just think of off the top that's really mobile, can play
Okay,
out.
okay.
Yeah, but
Nelson's a
I mean, they
very
have
good
their
rebounder
differences
though,
too.
too.
Yeah. Um, no, he's definitely the X factor of this team. I love Rylan Griffin. I think he's in for a breakout season. That's a lock. I think Estrada's can be very good. I'm not the biggest
Sears,
Sears guy.
he's good.
But he's under control. He's not going to beat himself.
And
That's
Siri was
good.
talking to me when I said Mark Sears. But yeah,
um,
Sears is good though. I think.
yeah. He's pretty cool. Not an amazing defender. That's an area he could get better in.
That's the thing about Alabama. They
Is
were
their
amazing on defense
defense.
last year, and I
I
don't
think
think they'll be amazing on
everyone.
defense this year.
That's the big spot for everyone. If interior defense.
Yeah, Pringle should be solid, but like overall, I think there's lost a lot defensively. Reitzel
Yeah,
should be solid off the bench.
that's
Wagi
true.
once he gets healthy. Jaron Stevenson, I think, would be good right away. Sam Walters
Jaren's
could be as
good.
well.
Mhm.
Chris Parker could contribute a little bit.
Yeah, their bench, I think, is where the upside lies.
Yeah, I mean,
In
I think it's a solid roster overall. It's kind of growing on me, honestly. Like, I think I've moved him up as I like
Yeah,
maybe think
I
about it.
had them like 7 or 8 a while ago because I was just not thinking they'd be good defensively, but I think they have enough here offensively for me to.
Yeah. Jaron Stevenson could be like, I think Stevenson
Mizzou
and
lost
Walters.
out on him. Yeah, I remember that. Jaron
I
Stevenson's.
mean, they weren't really in on him. Like, I mean, they were, but he wasn't really in on them.
But yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
it was like they were in North Carolina,
He
but
was a
he's
big
going to be
recruit,
very good.
though. Yeah.
Has some intriguing skills. Should be a very good rim protector right away. Reclass, so we'll see how that
And
works
this
out.
Walters
Estrada should
guy,
be
yeah,
Estrada
he can
could be
shoot the
really good.
ball.
I think Estrada should. I don't know about Estrada.
We can. I mean,
I
Estrada's
mean,
just
I
so
think I love
trustworthy, man.
Estrada, but like you should be. He's going to be bad on defense.
That is true.
I think he'll still be good though
He just got to
overall.
be. He's just got to be pretty efficient on offense,
I think he will be.
and he will be.
Defense, so like I don't love this team, which is why I lower on them. Like they're not going to be as close to where they were last year.
Right. That's something where like teams like Auburn will have an edge over them,
Mm-hmm.
in a head to head. Like, if Auburn's able to slow the tempo down against Alabama, they're going to give them a lot of problems. That's the
Yeah.
thing with Alabama. Like, if a team can slow their pace down, that's when they're going to really have to actually defend. And that could be a problem for them.
Any more notes on the SEC though?
I don't think so. I think we did a good job, the team by team
Mhm.
breakdown.
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't know what conference we're going to do next, but we will do one soon after. Yeah, if you've made this far, make sure to give us a follow on all of our social medias at Hoopscoop Media, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. We would love to have you follow us, and as we're posting more content on those social media platforms,
Fun
follow us.
fact,
Yeah,
we did this episode like 30 minutes after our SWAC episode, so
we did.
probably didn't get the best version of preparation from me, but I went off the top of my head and gave a good team by team breakdown. So,
Yes.
you know.
They're definitely easier to do it that off the top of your head in a conference like the SWAC or the MEAC.
Oh god.
But yeah, we'll be back with another conference shortly after you're watching
A10,
this
A10.
video. We could do the A10 next. But yeah, I mean, I guess we'll do the A10 now. I mean, you've already done a lot
I
of
love
prep for
the
that,
A10
so
this year. It's gonna be fun.
it's gonna be interesting. Hopefully, better than last year.
I hope so.
Maybe not though. I don't know if there's like a really good team. Dayton should be the best team, but like we'll see.
Honestly, like I seen George Mason now. I'm all in. I'm all in.
They're not better than Dayton, but I like George Mason. But yeah, we will be back tomorrow. Maybe the same day. We got a lot of conference previews to churn out and not a lot of time. So
Sure. How
we
many
will be
more we
back.
got?
More than
15?
days till the season.
That's true.
Yeah, but we will
Gotta still do all the Northeast crap. Oh,
we can get Dan back on for some of those though.
my goodness. Look, the CAA is actually not bad. So that won't be bad. It's the NEC and the those are good.
Well, yeah, we'll be back with some more conference reviews shortly. So make sure to give us a 5-star review, like, follow, all of that fun stuff. And we'll be back for A10 next.